Welcome to Life in the Bricks podcast, where we talk to real people about programs that enhance our community so that we can build bigger and better portfolios while providing options for our residents to achieve self-sufficiency. I'm your host, Tony McGinnis, Executive Director, CEO with the Huntsville Housing Authority. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Life in the Bricks podcast. I'm Tony McGinnis, the host, and we talk to real people about real issues that impact our community. And today we have that opportunity to do just that. I'm excited really about what we're going to be talking about today and over the course of the next two episodes. It's going to give us an opportunity to really show some love to men. Men who are the fathers and husbands, brothers, mentors of our community. And it'll give us an opportunity to really highlight some of the things that they are doing. I'm excited because not only are we going to be talking to men, we're gonna actually have an opportunity to highlight a new book that I've written in honor of my dad for Father's Day called Life. Well, I called him Dad. I'm sorry. Life in the Bricks was my last book, but this book is I Called Him Dad, Lessons on Fatherhood. And I'm excited to get a chance to share that. It's a small but powerful book that talks about some of the lessons that I've learned from my dad. We just celebrated Mother's Day a month ago. The stores were packed. All the cards were sold out. Restaurants were packed Saturday, Sunday, and mothers, they tend to get more love, which a lot of mothers deserve that. There are mothers out there who do an incredible job of, raising their children, taking the role on both sides. They're incredible mothers, but sometimes they have to play the role of a father. And so I definitely understand why mothers get a lot of love and attention, but I want to take some time over the next couple of episodes and really highlight the impact that men are making in society, men who have influenced me, men who are still having a great impact on who I am and what I want to do in this world. And I couldn't think of a better way to do that than to actually write a book about my dad and the things that he taught me and my brothers and what his contribution to the community. So today, you all have a front row seat to a book that's already out on Amazon. In the link of this episode, you'll be able to go right to the link and order the book. Again, it's called I Called Him Dad, Lessons on Fatherhood by Antonio McGinnis. And this book was dedicated, my brother Reginald actually had the opportunity to do the forward to this book. I dedicated this to all the men out there who are just doing great things, but especially to my dad. I want to talk about the forward because my brother Reginald had an opportunity to do the forward. I want to appreciate him for just being willing. I went to him and of course he said, yeah, because he wanted to make sure that he acknowledged the things that our dad did for us. And so I appreciate his contribution to the book and the forward. On January 15th, 2017 was the day that we had to say goodbye for now to my dad. And so it was one of those days that really changed my life forever. I thought my dad was Superman, I thought my dad was just invincible. But being a Christian man, I knew he wasn't. I knew that we all have our time. We all have our day. All of our days are numbered. So I knew that there was going to be an expiration day. I just wasn't ready. But I'm so grateful and thankful that he was ready. And so I know that there will be a time when I get an opportunity to see him. Now, this book is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. it took me a while. I'll pick the book up, put it back down, pick it up, put it down. Next thing you know, 2, 3, 4 years have passed by, and all I have is a shell of what I wanted to put together. So about a year and a half ago, I just started being committed to finishing what I started about 4 or 5 years ago. Man, that's the thing about writing sometimes. You can get writer's block. You can get just kind of stuck if you don't have people pushing you and encouraging you each and every day. You can get stuck. And so I'm just grateful that on this third book that I was able to complete it. And one day I'm going to be able to sit down with somebody and really do a book that's a little bit longer, that goes into a lot more depth than I've been able to go in the past. But for now, these books are all about ministering to you and getting information out to the community. So again, I want to thank those who helped put this book together. Um, I want to thank Jared Patterson for his contribution, the edits that he made, Lakeisha Wheeler and Kiki 360 for coming up with the book cover, and then of course I want to thank my brother Reginald and everybody who made a significant impact on making this project come together. Now, like I said earlier, it's a short book, but it's going to be an impactful book because it's going to give us an opportunity to have discussions and talk about some of the things that my dad was able to pour into my life. So today I'm just going to do a brief summary of some of those things that we talked about. The book starts out by talking about what fatherhood is all about. Webster has a definition of fatherhood, but with this book, I actually have an opportunity to talk about what fatherhood means to me. And when I talk about fatherhood, I talk about fatherhood in a earthly and heavenly position, because I truly believe that I have a deeper spiritual connection because I had an earthly father who provided me with an example of what a heavenly relationship looks like. So I'm just grateful and thankful for his contribution into that, because a lot of times it's hard for individuals and men especially to have a heavenly connection because there is no earthly connection. So although my father was no way perfect, he actually instilled in me some things that I'm able to pass on to my sons and the people that I mentor. So I want to just really say that I'm grateful and thankful for fatherhood and what that means. So we're going to go through 10 lessons that he was able to share with me that I hope will give you all a brief insight into the book. And the first thing we talk about is lesson number 1: give your children your name. A name and a sense of identity can be essential for personal growth and development. Names can be powerful symbols of heritage, tradition, and family ties. They can help us feel connected to our roots and our communities. In addition to giving us a sense of belonging, having a name can also provide a sense of continuity and help us feel a sense of purpose and direction in life. As you continue to grow and mature, you may find that your sense of identity evolves and changes, but having a solid foundation to start from can be a valuable asset. We have so many children who, they go around and they get their name from their grandfather or their father, but because there's no connection, they don't even know what that name is. They know they have a first name and a last name, but I think as fathers give their children their name, they need to let them know a little bit about their history, who their great grandfather was, who their grandfather was, their origin of birth and what that means. Giving young people a sense of identity is so important, especially in the world that we live in today. Young people need to know that their name means something and that it's powerful, that they have a name that they can identify with and the purpose behind that name. So I'm excited about what you all read when you look at the chapter talking about give your children your name. The second lesson that we talk about in this book is your word is your bond. Ecclesiastes 5:5 says, better that you not vow than that you vow and your vow is not fulfilled. Keeping promises and fulfilling commitments is important. I talk about that all the time, man. Your word is your bond. If you say you're going to do something, you got to make sure that you do it. One of the things that I learned from my dad is that if he said he was going to do something, I ain't have to worry about it. It was money in the bank. If he said he was going to do it, I could count on it. So many of our young people who grew up in our communities today, they don't understand that. They don't understand the level of commitment from anybody because people tell them stuff all the time and they don't follow through. Some of it is intentional, some of it not intentional. But if you tell young people, especially their children, that you're going to do something, you got to follow through. And that's one of the lessons I learned from example, because every time my dad said he was going to do something, he did it. He came through. I didn't have to worry about it. So that was one of those lessons that's very, very valuable to me. If I say something, I'm going to do it because I understand the impact that it has as we just try to mentor and be the examples that our young people need us to be. Lesson number 3 is to keep it real at all points. Keep it real. I think my dad was one of the realest people, especially men, that I knew. In the book, I talk about dad didn't drive a fancy car, live in an immaculate home. He was content with his identity and didn't get caught up in trying to impress people. He had served in the church as a deacon and only accepted the head deacon position once because he didn't get caught up in titles. He was real. One of the most realest conversations I ever had with my dad was in the 7th grade. I called my dad, and I must admit, I had not talked to him in a while. He answered the phone, and the first words were, "What do you want?" I wasn't prepared for that question. It took me a minute, and I was hot after it registered with me. I couldn't believe that my dad had checked me. I was hurt, embarrassed, and confused. He was my dad. And if I ever called and asked him for something, he was supposed to come through, right? Question mark. He was checking me at a very early age because I had gotten to the point, I didn't live with my father. He and my mom had divorced, but I found myself only calling him when I needed something. And he corrected me at a very early age. And at that time, I was so mad and frustrated. But after a couple of days, I realized what he was doing. If we're going to have genuine relationships, we got to keep it real. We just can't call when we want something, when we need something. And I'll tell you, parents, mothers, fathers, or whatever, don't let your children be that kind of person to their dad. He's more than just Santa Claus. Just have them pick up the phone and call, even if they don't need anything. It's all about establishing a relationship. And that's one of the things that he taught me. He was going to keep it real. He wasn't going to try to be bigger and better than what he was, but he also was going to keep it real and let me know, don't just call me when you want something. Call me so that we can have a real conversation and we can do and grow together without it being a relationship of give all the time. That was something that was very, very valuable. And I'm so appreciative of that particular conversation that we had. Lesson number 4, which is going to be also an awesome lesson. It talks about, whenever I would go somewhere, whenever I was going to school, of course, I went to Texas A&M, which was 700 miles away from home. I can remember the day before I left, or, as I was getting ready to leave, he would say, "Hey, don't take any wooden nickels." I'm like, man, that's powerful, but what do you mean by don't take any wooden nickels? What my dad was teaching me was to always be on guard. I've always been trusting and naive, and I thought everybody was like me. But as I traveled the globe playing basketball and meeting people, I learned that villains live everywhere. My dad told me I couldn't trust many people because most would choose themselves if it came down to me or them. If they can win and hurt me, guess what? I was going to get hurt. So he was telling me, man, don't take any wood nickels, not only physically, but verbally. Don't take everybody's word for what they tell you. Test them, make them prove to you that their word is real, their actions are real. And boy, did I learn some lessons in that. There's still people who oftentimes try to get over, but you're not getting over. If I do something now, it's because I want to do it. If I do something now, it's because I have the ability to do it. But what my dad taught me is that just don't let anybody do anything to you, and then you end up in worse situation than you started out just from trying to help. So don't take any wood nickels was very, very valuable. And it was a valuable lesson. Lesson number 5, be present. Be present. So many people, especially fathers, we're there, but we're not present. Being present in your child's life means being there for them physically and emotionally. Spend time with your children, engage in activities together, and actively listen to them when they talk. This helps build a strong bond between you and them. We must also understand that we can't choose when we will be present. Often fathers are only present when their children are engaged in activities that they are interested in. We must support our children even when they are engaged in activities we have never been involved in. Who would have thought I would have been a band parent? But if that's where my son is, I also have to be. I talk about that and joke about that all the time. When my baby boy was a little kid, I told his grandfather, my wife's dad, that, yeah, man, this boy's going to be big. He's going to be probably one of the biggest kids in the band. And here you go, 12 years later, he's about 6'2", and he's in the band. But guess what? I'm a band parent. I have to be present where he is. And although I'm an athlete and he's starting to get there, I have to be present where he is. And I have to support the things that he does. My other children, they have done their thing. They have gone on to play basketball and do other things, but be present where your children are. That's a powerful lesson that I've learned from my dad. Be present no matter what or no matter the activity. Lesson number 6, mind your business. As fathers, our jobs are not to live for our children or to make decisions for them at every turn. Rather, it's to prepare them to make their own choices and to develop the skills and confidence they need to navigate the challenges and opportunities of life. I can remember being a freshman in college, and I would call home because I was just done playing basketball. I would call home and I would just be crying. And of course, if I call home and I call my mom, she's like, look, pack your bags, come back to the house. But my dad made me figure it out. He wasn't going to make the decision for me. And when I talk about mind your business, we all need to give guidance to our children, as long as that's guidance that's leading them away from destruction. But we can't necessarily continue to choose for them. At some point, they have to make decisions, because at some point, if you continue to make decisions for them, they're going to eventually blame you for the choices that they had made, because they're going to say, if it was your fault. So he taught me, at some point, you're going to have to make your own decisions. So mind your own business. And this next lesson, I'm sorry, fathers, but some of y'all going to be mad at me, but I see it all the time. Lesson 7, stop living vicariously through your children. I don't remember my dad telling me I needed to be like anybody. Being the best Tony McGinnis I could be was good enough for him. My dad never pressured me into playing sports, playing music, working in a particular field, or trying to be like him. All my dad wanted me to be was a dependable guy. He knew being a good guy would pay off for me one day. So he constantly encouraged me to be good, to be a good friend, an honest son, and a faithful brother. I see too many men living through their children, putting pressure on their sons and daughters that is unnecessary. You need to encourage them. You need to provide resources if you can, but you don't need to live through them. You've lived your life, support them in the best possible way that you can, but don't live through them because oftentimes they try to please you, even if they're not interested in the thing that you're pushing them to do. So I want to encourage the fathers not to live so much through their children, but support them in a way that will allow them the opportunity to be their best self. So stop living through your children. Lesson number 8, be supportive. By providing support and encouragement, we can help our children build the confidence and resilience they need to pursue their dreams and overcome obstacles along the way. It's important to remember that our children's dreams may differ from ours, and that's okay. What matters most is creating a supportive and a loving environment where children feel safe, exploring and pursuing their own interests. Be supportive. Lesson number 9, lead by example. When we model positive behaviors and attitudes, we show children what it means to be a good person. We demonstrate the importance of treating others with kindness and respect, taking responsibility for our actions, and being honest and trustworthy. By consistently modeling these behaviors, we help children develop a solid moral compass to guide them throughout their lives. I can say, man, that my dad led by example. He went to work all the time. He took us to church. And I never heard my dad curse. I never seen him drink or smoke. I never seen him out of character. Now, he did get mad. He did get upset. But I never saw him do the things that I inspired to do. Now, I can't say that. And I'm sure my kids can't say that. They've never heard me get angry or do things. I dropped that ball. But I never saw my dad do any of those things. And that helped me to be better than I possibly could have been. But be a positive role model and lead by example. Don't just be that type of father that says, do as I say, not as I do. That's not good enough. Be the example that you want your children to be. And then the last lesson I want to share is communicate effectively. Learn how to create positive communication channels so your children feel comfortable expressing their thoughts and feelings. Be approachable. Sometimes we think we need to be tough, but our children must know they can come to us no matter what. Stop being so doggone judgmental. We need to remember some of the stuff that we used to do. God saved us, He will keep them too. Communicate effectively. Have conversations that are tough. I can remember having some tough conversations with my dad. I can remember having some moments that I wasn't proud of. But because we were able to have those conversations, I was able to get out of a lot of things and stay out of a lot of trouble. I'm excited about this book. I'm sure that you all will get an opportunity to today. I was just able to share a sample of what you would see when you get your copy. So go to Amazon, look at the link, order it directly. It'll be here in a few days. Be a great, great present for men in your life, sons, brothers, for Father's Day. Get the book. I Called Him Dad. I'm grateful and thankful to have this opportunity to share this book, I Called Him Dad, on today's episode of Life in the Bricks. Please share this on all your social media platforms. We look forward to having a really engaging conversation this week with dads as we celebrate Father's Day and then we celebrate men in our community who are doing some great things. This has been another episode of Life in the Bricks. Thank you for watching. See you next time. We've come to the end of the podcast today. Please share the link on all your social media platforms. We hope that you all will join us again next time. Until then, keep serving and keep pushing. This has been another amazing episode of Life in the Bricks podcast. Peace.